So first of all, again, thanks, Angela and everybody who organized this. And I think we are really happy and grateful to see the community of Governauts blossoming from what we envision, as Jessica was describing before 6 months ago. And I think I took this initiative with also James to create this project initiative to, it's a community history, it's a benchmark of the current knowledge building approach. So quick introduction about myself. I think Jesse already said a few words. Change River is the place where basically I act as researcher, civil designer, and my work is to listen, understand, facilitate the deeper dynamics, especially in governance, decentralized governance, and provide the roots to design solution or tools. And since 2018, the Web3 adoption is my purpose and mission. So I will just go through the agenda for today, and it's about the research contest, the problem statement, the methods, the goals analysis, and insight and next steps. So in terms of context, very briefly, so the contest I'm describing the slide come from quite a few engagement with, I think, Common Stack sometimes in the past, Aragon currently, observing Governauts activity on a Telegram channel, and I see this importance of decide what to decide as a new territory where there is a self-organism that required consistent values and educational equipment to grow. So therefore, based on this observational standpoint, I try to focus on the three main goals to design a qualitative survey to ask questions. And the goals are about governance identity. So who are governauts, and why and how they want to learn, and what does the community feel a need to address a problem towards adoption. So the idea is really to make the community aware of that we are listening, and we want to create awareness about researching decentralized governance. In terms of the methods, I just basically created 6 main qualitative research questions, was launched on Telegram for like almost 3 weeks. Out of the members in total at that time, because it keeps growing on the Telegram channel, 26 completed, but through the combat tool, we just want to emphasize that actually 41 members were active during that survey launch. So I think the participant number is quite relevant if we look at the activity of the members. So the guiding questions of the 3 goals is the following. So how might we incentivize the community to engage with and develop decentralized governance research into real problem-solving scenarios? And I worked basically on Miro quite a lot, mainly by myself, but I also want to mention that I asked feedback, another researcher in the community that helped me to kind of be a sounding board to what was my thinking, what my way to look at this data. So from these guiding questions, I'm going to the first goal in terms of governance identity. So I think in many DAOs, there are lots of transformation happening and needed. And I look at the response about why they join Governauts, and then using a framework from Carl Jung analytical psychology approach. And these traits actually as archetypes came out in terms of the seeker, the lover, the creator, and the destroyer. And each of them, they have some traits that I think are very relevant from who want to join a DAO to be aware of these behaviors, and also from the DAO designer leader, this can be very important to understand the collective environment dynamics. So this is also a framework to really empathize with the contributors of the community and the iterative design process. So, and these are, I just want to make sure that these are the voices from the community. These are what actually they say in the survey, and there are quite clear signals of how do they feel in terms of, for example, one is to see whether token earning and exchange can be generated by groups, which I believe is the start of a new economic paradigm. So this is one of the voices that actually create the tone for the community to ask for certain needs. So the second goal is learn why and how to learn. So definitely in the DAO context, there is a huge volume of info. The learning curve is too steep in the beginning. Each level expertise needs streams of incentives. So I use a framework here, the Bloom taxonomy, just to kind of gather together the response about what kind of format they want to learn. So, and looking at this data, what actually stands out that probably there is a tendency to consider learning activities focused on this free top-level learning. So analyze, apply, and understand. And this could be a tool or just an insight to facilitate the community journey development. So again, these are other, I think, voices from the community that, for example, show me how can I get more involved. Perseverance is the key to win the race. Stick with it. It's also like, I assume it's also like a request to make sure there is the contest to be, to express persistence in the community. And the third goal is about problem towards adoption. So here on the left side, you see the contributor perspective, and on the right side, the leader perspective. So the response on the question about what do you see as a problem's adoption, I just summarize in this like storytelling from like a user perspective, like I'm interested, I'm trying to find the right DAO. It's hard to find the right one because too much learn, I don't know what skills I need, which makes me feel overwhelmed and not valuable. And the potential insight is to look at a tool that could help members match skill set to specific projects. Let's say even this one with the reward system. So this is could be interesting to develop further. From the leader perspective, so there is a tendency to want to make people contribute, but I don't know how to make a clear focus call because there are overlapping tasks and projects. It makes me feel lost and without a vision. And this could be probably an angle to look at this as a learning journey to streamline the work streams in DAO. So, and these are again two other statements. They are quite relevant. One is, for example, make it as hospital to no techies like myself and take time to explore each other's vision and don't get locked into gospel and narrow conception of what a human being is. So there are some signs of a need to be inclusive as much as possible. And these are the problems, but these are the ongoing needs that also came out from the survey that it's important to consider social as a cultural building value element, coordination, so what are the work stream versus resource allocation. And also UX is lacking. So we all know about Discord, but also it's important to understand how this could be facilitated. Think about, for example, Gitbook. It could be an option. I think just something that, for example, in Aragon, I'm involved to facilitate it, so to make sure there is easy to use. And finally, these are the next step that I envision and also we discussed with James. And so one could be a focus group about learning skills, a community event to decide problems priority, and also we really would like to create an experiment on Astro. And then I think James will tell more. And before I leave the floor to him, just want to completely say that our intention is to create more participatory actual research, facilitate experimentation and validation in our communities, teams, and platforms. And last but not least, I just want to say, again, thank you, James, for the support. You've been like a really core asset to the community, and it's very valuable that working and creating this with you. So I leave this to you to finish off the presentation.
Thanks, Renzo.
Thanks so much.
Hi, James. I think 3 minutes left. Keep an eye.
Cool. Yeah, shouldn't take too long. First of all, I just want to say thanks to Renzo for putting this together. Thanks to all the survey participants and every Governaut. I'm really grateful to be part of this. And I just wanted to talk briefly about how I'm thinking about a goal we discussed back in the Open Web Governance Challenge. And leading to the discussions within our ecosystem about Governauts and research DAOs. So we're partially doing a research initiative to discover insights and inform development of the Governauts DAO. But what I've learned so far is we need to better understand ecosystem flows, which are always plural. So just wanted to walk through different levels. When we're thinking about a governance DAO, it's really multiple Governaut DAOs. And then when we're thinking about topics outside of research, it is also pluralized, being research DAOs. And I have a forum post I want to share about that idea specifically, but we can go even further thinking about how Astro DAO, which is a DAO framework on Near, can be thought of as a factory producing Astro DAOs. And that's kind of a unique or interesting dynamic we've seen across platforms. And when we're thinking about ecosystem DAOs, which are trusted groups distributing funds on behalf of Near Foundation, it's actually interesting to discuss how those can be pluralized, and then how we're thinking about the broader multi-chain ecosystems and what it really means to multi-DAO. But the question is, why start on Astro now? And I think given results from the survey and the research initiative, especially within the case studies about Near reward systems, we need research DAOs to inform development of DAOs and other initiatives within our ecosystem. So I'm going to propose that we start experimenting sooner than later. And if you want to create your own Governaut DAO, by all means, let's collaborate. And you can join the research DAO, which is a multi-DAO governance structure with processes for other DAOs to join and contribute. So the Governauts DAO on Astro is the first member of this multi-DAO group. And if you want to create your own DAO on Astro, you're welcome to join, and that signifies your participation in the broader multi-DAO of research. And then we can talk about other Governauts DAOs or governance DAOs as a tongue-in-cheek way of saying this impossible paradox of one thing that is all things. But of course, we will explore and discover how it works at a higher level. But at first, we'll discuss how it can work in a microcosm of the Astro DAO platform and its ecosystem. So we invite all of you to participate in Governance and think about multi-DAO governance as a question, and hopefully find answers together.